Hello, this is Vicki Hannah Lynn, and I'm here to help you understand how you can too do it, no matter what anyone has ever told you. I'm here to tell you it's not what happens to us that matters. All of us have had things happen that have been difficult and challenging, but it's the story we tell ourselves about what happens that makes all the difference. And we're in charge of that story. We can tell ourselves a story that makes us small, or we can tell ourselves a story that makes us big. One thing I know for sure, I can't is always a true story. Here are some of the stories that can stop us. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I'm not smart enough. I'm way too old. If we tell ourselves a story that we're the hero of our own lives, it's up to us to make things happen, then things do happen. How do you become the hero in your own life? It's simple, but it's not easy. The first thing you have to do is step up and take charge of your own life. Don't wait for somebody else to do it for you. Then you accept no excuses. Even if they're valid, it just doesn't matter. You do it. Then you stay in the game. You figure out a way that you will not ever give up. Whatever we practice, we get good at. And we are always practicing something. We're practicing giving up, or we're practicing staying in the game. I used to practice being afraid. I was a coward. I was afraid of everything, of making mistakes, of making people mad at me. Cowardice is exhausting. E. Cummings once said that it takes courage to grow up and turn out to be who you really are. This is so true. In my early 30s, I decided to start practicing being braver every day. That has made all the difference. Speaking of courage, Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, being tortured and breaking rocks out in the hot South African sun. When he was released, he became president of South Africa, and in his inaugural address, he quoted Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, talented, fabulous, and gorgeous? Who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. You were born to make manifest the glory that is within you, and it's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give permission to other people to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Is that some kind of quote or what? I think of that quote all the time, and it gives me permission to really step into my greatness. Joseph Campbell once said, "Follow your bliss." I've added, "or it will stalk you." I think if there's something in you that wants to become, if you don't listen to that something, you'll be miserable. And how do we find out what is in us that wants to become? We start listening to a deep inner wisdom that I call the Muse. Our Muse is always full of great ideas and inspiration, and tells us that we are brilliant. This is the voice that urges us to go back to school, or take a painting class, or go to Bali. Listening to this voice fills our life with joy and meaning. We have an enemy that lives inside of us. This is the voice I call the dinosaur voice. This is the voice that tells us, "That's a stupid idea." I teach people to turn to this voice and say, "Patooey, I spit on you." Try it. You'll like it. Let me illustrate what I'm talking about by telling you a little bit more about me. This is me when I was 9 months old. Wasn't I adorable? I was a very, very good girl, and I tried never to break any rules or get in trouble or have anybody ever be mad at me. I was a doormat. I was afraid to stand up for myself. I was afraid of making people mad. I was terrified of making mistakes. I had good reason for trying to be so good. I grew up in a home with a lot of drinking and fighting and physical and emotional violence. My mom had dropped out of high school, so she felt trapped with my dad. She didn't think she could support herself. I was determined this would never happen to me. I wasn't able to dream big for my life, but I did make a big decision. This will never happen to me. My life is going to be different. Because my vow was so important to me, I got myself to college. In fact, my junior year, I got myself to Europe. This is a picture of my mother and me in Venice. Going to Europe broke my world wide open, and now I'm a warrior babe. I may look good, but I don't see well. My mother lost her vision at 40, and I lost my vision in 1994. It's a genetic disease. This is kind of what my vision looks like. I don't have any central vision. That means I can't read or drive a car. But I still travel all over the world by myself most of the time. This is me riding a camel in Dubai. I've also done whitewater rafting on the Nile, and I've been to Bali. How did I learn how to do this? By saying, "This time for sure, I do not give up." I want to help people like me overcome the obstacles in their life and make their dreams come true. I've written several books, produced a couple CDs, and I do this to help people have the courage and the support to stay in the game. So remember, you can too do it. And if anyone tries to discourage you, just say, "Patooey, I spit on you."